Welcome back, everyone, to another OKest recap. We have a number of things to cover today, so we're going to jump straight into the quick news. I've only got one thing to cover for the quick news, and that's the MSI Claw. So this week we got all of the information. They put out a website with all the specs. And if you'd like a summary of this, I did put out a video summarizing what we had found last week, so check that one out. For today's video, I'm just going to give you a very condensed version as well as a few other resources that you could check out. Before we got the official specs, we had a leak that showed that it was going to be using the Intel Core Ultra 7 155H, which proved to be true. However, in that leak, it also said that the device was going to have 32 gigabytes of RAM, which did not prove to be the case. So we're just going to ignore the leak specs and jump straight to the official specs on MSI's website. So let's take a look at that. We have up to the Intel Core Ultra 7 processor, which would suggest that there's another one. It's going to be the Ultra 5 from what we've heard. The Ultra 5 would be the device that's coming in at $699, and then the Ultra 7 would be more than that. It's going to be running Windows 11 Home. It's going to have a 7-inch 1080p IPS display at 120Hz. There is no mention anywhere of VRR. We have Intel Arc graphics. According to the website, it's LPDDR5 RAM at 6400 MHz. It doesn't specify the amount, although we've heard that it's going to be 16 gigabytes, not 32. We have Wi-Fi 7, we have USB 4 with Thunderbolt 4, a micro SD card slot, and a headphone jack. We have RGB ABXY buttons, which is kind of cool, so they will be illuminated, which apparently you can turn off if you don't like. We have Hall effect joysticks and triggers, so let's see how that turns out. Hopefully there's no interference. The only other real thing of note is that we have two rear buttons just like we have on the ROG Ally. We have a 53 watt-hour battery, and the device weighs 675 grams. And currently it seems that the only color that we're going to be able to get is black. If you want to see a closer look at the device, Dave2D did put out a video, so check that one out. I will link it in the description. We also have a number of videos from different outlets that were able to check it out at CES 2024. So if you want to see what the device looks like in hand, just give it a search on YouTube. There's plenty of results, so just check out a couple of the videos. Unfortunately, we don't have any performance tests, so that's something that we're going to have to wait a little bit for. There's a few videos where people are taking laptops like ETA Prime that have a similar chip, and you can kind of get a rough idea. Of course, a laptop is going to have better cooling, so keep that in mind. It's not going to be a one-to-one demonstration of the performance, but of course, we're going to have to wait till some reviewers get it in hand. So that's going to do it for now for the MSI Claw. There's not a lot more that I can really cover. Once I get more information, of course, I'll be sharing that with you guys in another recap. And now that we've covered our quick news, let's head over to the Legion Go. I've got some more roadmap updates. This week for the Legion Go, we've got some updates to the roadmap and some upcoming changes with Legion Space as well as a BIOS update. On January 5th, we had some updates for what's planned for the next BIOS version 29. And what they're planning to add is auto VRAM. They're also going to have custom fan curves, charge limiting, so you could have it, let's say, charge up to 80% and then stop, and a variety of other improvements and bug fixes. And this last Friday on the 12th, we did get another update. So it seems that we're about another 3 weeks out from another Legion Space update, and this is something that they're going to be doing in tandem with the BIOS. They go on to explain that to adjust the fan curves, you need to have that BIOS update that would allow Legion Space to be able to make those changes. Same thing with setting an FPS limit, having the auto VRAM, as well as integrating automatic driver updates. So if all goes well, we should hopefully have something in about 3 weeks. They also went on to identify some of the key priorities that they're working on. So there's key mapping support, custom TDP fix, improving gyro support, as well as battery charge limiting. Aside from Legion Space, we also got a controller firmware update that just came out this last week. Some of the issues that were addressed is unsynchronized lighting effects between the left and the right controllers, a bug where the left controller light was not turning off with the rest of the system, improved speed of lighting effect changing from the right menu, fixed low hit rate on factory setting restoration while the controllers are attached, optimized trackpad palm rejection when detached, added a power key light switch interface that's going to be coming out in a future update. There is also a trigger dead zone interface, something that'll be coming later, as well as sleep timing interface that also will be coming in a future update. Some other things that they mentioned is that they are looking at doing some UI improvement and customization, so hopefully we'll see that in a coming update. And they briefly touched on AMD drivers, so the AFMF is something that's in works with AMD, so it's going to take a bit of time to get to your Legion Go, but it is something that they're working on, so hopefully we'll get that sometime soon. And they also touched on warranty services, so now there's an option to upgrade your warranty if you live in the USA or Canada. So this would be specifically to extend your warranty. It's an add-on to the current warranty that you would normally have. So if you're interested in this one, check out the community post for more information. And lastly, they gave us a list of issues that they are aware of that they're currently tracking. So that includes the fan whine, controller wobble, external monitors popping up in portrait mode, the AMD Adrenaline app sometimes disappearing on updates, full screen mode sometimes being flipped upside down, left speaker interference, some SD card stuttering and freezing on certain games, some interference for the Hall effect joysticks between the left trigger and the left stick, as well as a desire from the community to improve charger compatibility. This of course isn't a completely exhaustive list. There may be issues that you're experiencing that are not on here, so if you do have those issues, I do recommend joining their Discord server or their community page and making mention of it so that they are aware. So that's all the updates I have this week for the Legion Go. They do update this community page weekly with another update, so hopefully we'll have some more information next week for the AMD drivers, and also just to get a general progress update. So that's going to do it for the Legion Go updates. Let's head over to the ROG Ally. For the ROG Ally, I only have one update, and that's for the new BIOS 336 that's just come out. Currently, you have to manually download and install it if you'd like it, but it should be coming to my ASUS very soon, so stay tuned for that one. I did test out this BIOS versus 335, so if you'd like to see more information on that, check out the link in the description. There was also another video done by Filterless if you'd like to see some further testing, so check out those two videos and you should get a good idea of the performance. Aside from that, there's no other updates for the ROG Ally, so let's head over to the Steam Deck. For Steam Deck, we only have 3 updates to SteamOS that we're going to cover today. The first one is on January 8th, and it's a fairly simple update to the beta client. We have updated localization files as well as some fixes to the Steam overlay. And then on January 10th, we had another update that fixed the haptics on the left trackpad. And then on January 11th, we had an update to the stable OS, and this was basically integrating all of the changes that we've seen in the beta for the last couple of weeks. There's a large number of updates for this one. I'm not going to go through it all, but I'll leave a link in the description, and you can also pause the video if you'd like to see it a little bit closer. So we have some general bug fixes, we have some fixes to the Steam Workshop, to Steam Cloud, as well as Steam Input. So once again, if you'd like to see these a little bit closer, check out steamdeck.com and you can see the full changelog there. And that's all that I've got for Steam Deck, so let's head over to AOKZOE. For AOKZOE, I just have a couple things to cover, and they're both related to the AOKZOE A2. The Indiegogo campaign is still live, and there's about a week left. It's actually a pretty good deal, being $6.99 for a 32 gig 7840U device. I'll be ordering one of the A2s, so I'll be able to review it on the channel, let you guys know what it's like, but if you are interested, I do encourage you to at least give it a look. If you're curious to learn a little bit more about it before you take a look at the campaign, check out the video from ETA Prime. He has put out his first look review of it, and I believe he's planning to do another video. I'm not entirely sure what he's going to be covering in that one, but keep an eye out for it. And if you want to see some gameplay on the device, you could also check out AOKZOE's YouTube channel. I'll link that in the description as well. And that's all that I've got for AOKZOE, so let's head over to Onexplayer. This week's products of the week are from Magtame, and they have some magnetic charging cords that I'm going to be showing you today, one that's USB-C to Lightning and USB-C to C. The purpose of these cords is to be easy to store. They are magnetic, so you could just wrap them in a circle. You don't need any kind of ties, like a Velcro tie for instance. All you have to do is wrap them around and they'll naturally stick together. The magnetic hold isn't super strong, so you could just pull them apart, use them as you need, and then when you're done to wrap them up, you just have to have it somewhat close together. You don't have to have it super neat. Just wrap it up and then you're good to go to store it in your bag again. So if you're in the market for another cord, check these out. I'll drop the link in the description. Like I said before, they're very easy to store and you don't really require anything else to keep them tidy. Thank you Magtame for providing these cords to test out. For Onexplayer, I have a couple things to go over today. The first one up is that the 1X GPU campaign is now over. You can still buy it through in demand if you're interested. I've placed an order for one of these, and I believe the latest update is that they're planning to ship these out by the end of January, so hopefully I'll get mine soon and I can start to test it for you guys. If you're interested in learning more or checking out this device, I'll leave a link in the description, so check that out. On to the next update. In the previous recap, I covered a new handheld that's coming out from Onexplayer called the X1. This is a tablet-style handheld that comes in at about 11 inches, just a little bit under, and according to videocards.com, it's going to be running the same chip that's coming in the MSI Claw. That's the Intel Core Ultra 7 155H. It seems like they're expanding on the concept from the Onexplayer 2 or the Legion Go, where it's a tablet with detachable controllers. In this case, it looks like they're leaning more into the tablet territory, that you would attach controllers to play games once in a while, but likely would often be using it on a tabletop. We can expect more information on this on January 16th when Onexplayer is officially set to release the details of the device, which should confirm the specs that we already know, as well as expand on them so we can find out how much this thing weighs, what it's going to cost, and when they're planning to actually ship the device. If you want to see the device in action, Onexplayer does have some videos on their website, although they are connected to the 1X GPU, so check out Onexplayer's YouTube channel if you'd like to see more. So that's going to wrap it up for Onexplayer. Let's head over to AYANEO. This week for AYANEO, I have 3 new devices and campaigns to talk about today. So the first one is a mini PC called the AM02. This mini PC is the latest in AYANEO's new retro line. It looks kind of like an NES, and it's going to be sporting a 7840 HS chip. And currently there's a preview page on Indiegogo, so you can sign up for more information if you're interested in following this one. Next, we had an event for the AYANEO Flip that's going to have a 7840U, but apparently is also going to be having another chip coming up, which is pretty obviously the 8840U. There's 2 variations of the device, one with a dual screen and another one with a keyboard. The screen on both of them is a 7-inch 1080p 120Hz IPS display, and the second screen on the dual screen model is a 3.5-inch screen. If you're interested in following this one, there is an Indiegogo page where you can sign up for email updates. It should be going live sometime soon. And the last update I have for AYANEO is the AYANEO Next Lite. This is a budget handheld that's going to come with an older APU. Specifically, you can get either the 4500U or the 4800U. So the chip is going to be a few years older. One interesting aspect of this product is that it's going to come pre-installed with Holo ISO. For those that aren't aware, this is Linux and it looks very similar to SteamOS. So this is a little bit of a deviation from what AYANEO has typically done with their Windows-based handhelds. We don't have any specifics on when this is going to be shipping or when the campaign will start, but I'll keep you guys up to speed as I learn more about this one. And that's all I've got for AYANEO this week, so let's head over to GPD. For GPD, we only have a couple of updates, and they're both related to BIOS releases, one for the Win Mini that came out, and another one for the Win 4, that's the 7640, or the 7840. This won't affect the 6800. Both of these BIOS updates are so you can adjust the memory frequency, so you could either do 6400 megatransfers per second or 7500. And that's all that I've got for GPD this week, so let's head over to AYN. For AYN, I only have one update to go over, and that's for the over-the-air update that we're expecting for the Odin 2, so it seems that it's going to be delayed. And for those that aren't familiar, there's currently an issue with the Odin 2 where you have to clear your cache on the Play Store, otherwise you get an error and the store doesn't actually log in. Which doesn't really affect playing games, but anytime you need to do an update or download a new app, you have to do this. It's kind of a pain, seems to only last a little bit every time you do it. So hopefully this new update will address this. They are aware of the issue, and that's something that they're claiming they are addressing in this next update. So we'll wait to see when that comes out. And that's all that I've got for AYN, and that's also going to wrap up this recap. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.